What's up, gorgeous people? Tara Malarkey here. Welcome back to the podcast, to YouTube, wherever you're watching this. Super excited that you can be here. Today, I'm going to be talking about why I fired my team. I know it sounds dramatic, but it's true. And I'm going to walk you through the insides of what's been going on in my business. And the reason for that is because I know that so many people out there have these moments where they want to burn everything down. And it's hard to know whether you should or whether it's just fear or self-sabotage, right? So that was really why I wanted to bring this to you guys, because I want you to know that sometimes it is the right time to burn some stuff down, to burn some shit down, okay? And sometimes though, it's not. And this is one conversation I've been having with my mastermind students, because I know that so many times they could get to a point where they're like, you know what, I think I just need to pull back and I need to just take care of myself right now. And let's talk about this. Like, when is it time to listen to that? And when is it time not to? And so I want to just break down why I went ahead and burned some stuff down in my business and share with you. So I'm here in my office, in my home in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and the pup, if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see, but he's laying sleeping right behind me. He's so used to this that he thinks nothing's happening because he just hears me on a call. This is usually where I take my calls for my clients, and he sleeps right here. My baby, my cutie. So, all right, let's get into it. I want to give you 3 reasons, essentially, how I came to the decision to fire my team. And when I say that, I know it sounds dramatic. I want you to know that every single person that I let go on my team, I love them. I let go of them with so much love and care. And actually, it was a very difficult decision for me. We essentially cut the entire sales team, which was closers and setters. We cut coaches from the team, and we just skimmed back on a lot of the admin and operations and almost everything. And so that was a decision that was a long time coming. There's a few things that I'm going to go through with you to let you in on the inside of like how that culminated. But I hit personally, as the CEO of a multi-million-dollar brand at that point, I hit a place where I wasn't excited anymore. And if you're listening to this, I know that you are an entrepreneur. And so when you have an entrepreneurial spirit, what drives you is excitement, ambition, motivation to conquer something, to get good at something, to succeed at something. And I think that I had just gotten to a place that I had conquered it. Now, is there always more to conquer? Yes, but I had conquered high ticket sales for myself, then leading a multiple 6-figure sales team every single month. I had conquered being able to manage ads agency, running ads for us. I had conquered, managing the entire team from marketing, sales, delivery, and then plus coaching our clients to getting them to the $1 million a year level as well. And so, of course, there was always room for growth. Of course, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I got to a point where the challenges, they were bigger, or they weighed more on me because I didn't have the excitement anymore, because the things to keep growing the business were no longer exciting to me. I didn't have really a lot of heart in it. And I think that was mostly not because I didn't care about our clients, because I love working with the clients. I just felt like I was saying the same things and I just wasn't really excited anymore. And so that was the first thing that had started to happen. And I knew that I needed to perhaps make some decisions as it relates to that. And what we started doing was going down the track of potentially pivoting, creating a new offer. We had multiple things on the table, even partnerships, people coming in and pitching to me on different things that we could do together. And I would go away from a conversation kind of excited about the prospect of it. And then I would realize I have also no motivation for that either. And so I got to a place where I couldn't find the excitement. And when I went into deep prayer about it, I could feel the Lord nudging me toward letting go. and not needing to force, and inviting me to see how I might be holding on more from fear than from happiness or joy, meaning like holding on because I didn't want to fire people. I didn't want to let go of people. I didn't want to let go of the machine that we had built and the money that was coming in. But those were all wrong reasons, because my health, like my mental health, my spiritual health, my happiness, all of that was being affected. And I could feel the Lord so clearly bringing me towards needing to face that. And could I make a decision from complete trust and faith? And I just kept hearing him say, it might be time to let it go. It might be time to let it go. And I knew he didn't mean like, well, there's not going to be anything. It just means that sometimes we really do have to let go before the new thing comes in. It's like a relationship. Ideally, you don't meet the new person while you're still with the old person. Of course, that happens, but sometimes that's because you stayed too long in the old thing. And what's bad about that is that you didn't have time to heal from the old thing before you got into the new thing, which might make the new thing already tainted because you didn't have time and space to heal from the old thing. And so I feel like it's the same here. Like the Lord was sort of asking me to let it go. And because of fear and worry and attachment, I was holding on, and I kept holding on and kept holding on. And then I realized, oh, he kind of wants me to let it go because there's something new he wants from me, but I can't hear it and I can't see it yet. And I don't know what it is because he actually needs me to let go of this first. And so that was one piece of it. The second piece was that I started to feel like I didn't love working with some of our clients. And I realized that because of the nature of the way that we brought in clients through a sales team, I didn't have complete access to those clients before they came in. And we just had a few sort of bad apples, if you will, that then infiltrated, and they just really didn't have great mindsets, and they just, really wanted to criticize. And that's okay. Like that's part of doing business. All of you listening, you're always going to have that. But it started to just weigh on me after a while. I was like, I don't really want to deal with this anymore. We have created so much success in partnership with our clients. In the same breath that we have someone complaining, we have the next person saying, you've completely changed me and my family's life, which is essentially why I do what I do. And I'm going to get to an exercise in a second and take you through some questions that help me get clear on what matters to me and how to find my joy and like, where is the inspiration and the motivation and inspiration that I was looking for, like how to find that. But that was one thing that in the same program, right? You had clients who were just like, so amazing, had the right mindset, just had the right heart, were really in it to win it. And then unfortunately, just some people who, are just not at that place yet because they struggled and because they had expectations in a way that we would sort of do everything for them, and they don't do anything. And then when they don't do anything, and then they get upset with us that they're not getting results. And we're like, hey, listen, you have to do things to like build a business. And it just became heavy for me. And I just started looking at life. I don't know, is this something that I really want to, kind of deal with? And so that brings me to number 3, was that partly like at this point in my life, my goals changed. And part of having created financial freedom, thank God, is that I think one of the things that the Lord and what God, and when you're blessed to have built something, is that what naturally happens is that your goals change and what you want from life changes, because you no longer are just focused on paying your bills and survival. It's just natural. If you have to worry about paying your bills and feeding your children and keeping a roof over your head, that's going to take pretty much 99% of your attention, right? It's just like, let's just work. We just have to work, and we have to get paid, and we have to pay the bills. And, that's how I grew up. Essentially, my parents were immigrants. And then they immigrated to the States, and then they just worked really hard to make sure that we could go to private Catholic school and have nice clothes and food on the table and a roof over our head, which we did. But that was the culture, right? So like I knew that I wanted to work hard to get past that, right? I didn't want to just work for the rest of my life like a workhorse and never take time and never have space and always just have that narrative like, oh, got to get more work and I'm so exhausted. And it's like an addiction narrative that you just talk all the time. That's like how a lot of my family is. It's just the way that it is. We just work really hard, which is a great thing. But I mean, also like, I don't want to live my whole life like that. So obviously, as I created more wealth for myself through the coaching business and created assets that produce wealth for me, then I have more freedom. I have more freedom to decide how do I want to spend my time and how do I want to spend my days. And I'm blessed for that. And I know not everyone has that. And that's essentially why I do what I do. I want to guide a very specific group of women, a collective of women who really get that it takes grit and focus, prayer and surrender to create this life that they've never known before, that their family has never known before, and they're going to create it for their future generations and legacy and lineage. And so my goals changed. I wanted to heal more. I wanted to have more time to just be with myself, go to different kinds of therapy, take different classes or courses, spend more time dancing, doing music, like things that I really love to do. But because I'm working so hard and managing 14, 15 people, they go by the wayside, and year after year would go by. And it was kind of like, oh, just working hard, building the business, you know. My mom also passed last year, and that brought me to my knees in grief. Losing your mom, I think, is like nothing else in life because there's no one else like your mom. And so learning to live without her in my life, and also learning from her death that she lived a good life, but she also pretty much worked until the day she died. And my mom didn't take a lot of vacations, and she didn't make sure that she had a lot of time off. And she didn't go to Florida like I wanted her to go from in her 60s into retirement. She just kept working. And that was her choice. And I know that that was a pattern she was in, and it kept her going. And I'm proud of her for that. But I know that's not the way that I want to live. I want to live my life. So all of those being said, those were a lot of the reasons why I decided to completely take a step back. And essentially we shut down all sales, marketing, and operations for High Ticket Empress. We are delivering only to the clients that we had already enrolled when I made this decision. And they are amazing clients. And actually, most of them are moving up into my high level mastermind that I will continue because I have so much joy coaching in my mastermind. One, these are women who stood apart, right? And they graduated into my higher level mastermind. They have very big goals, and so they're coachable. They really want to know the truth, and they really want to be coached, and they really trust that, you know, that I know more than them because I've created it before them. And so they trust me and they want to follow what I'm saying to them. So I love working with them. I love our coaching calls every week. We do luxury events at my home in Florida, and it's amazing. So really quickly, I just want to help you if you're listening right now. If you feel like you might be out of alignment, I had one of my up-level students say to me, you know what, Tara, now that you tell me that, you know, because I announced it to my higher level girls, I'm going to shut down and fire the team and blah, 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 and like do all this stuff. And she's like, you know, I kind of feel like I should need to do that too. And I said, listen, how to know if you really need to do that or if that's self-sabotage? I'm going to walk through a couple things, but the main thing is that if you have not conquered it yet, like meaning if you have not gotten to some big goals that you've set for yourself, I'm going to pretty much lean on that. No, you probably shouldn't fire your team and quit everything and just say, oh, I hope to see what's next. It's actually why most people fail. Okay. So do you know how many times I had to step through those moments in my business? So many moments that I wanted to quit. And I wanted to take the sign that, nope, this isn't flowing, nothing's happening. I think I should just, quit and change and pivot and do something else and make another offer and all that stuff. So for the most part, unless you're at $100,000 a month, okay, in your coaching business, you likely shouldn't quit or fire your team or do anything else. You should just stay on the path and you should just keep doing perhaps what you're doing. Maybe you need to make some changes on how you do it. But if you feel like you want to step back and you haven't gotten to a big goal of yours, then likely it's self-sabotage. But let's just talk about excitement and how important that really is in driving revenue, profit, and driving a team. That you have to feel excited and inspired, and that there will be levels that you might get to a level that it's exciting now. And you might get to a level later where it's not exciting and you don't have to worry about that now. Like I didn't know that I was going to get here when I was at $50,000 a month, but when we got to $250,000 to $300,000 a month, that's when I started feeling, yeah, this is not fun. This is not so fun anymore. And I'm not sure that this is exactly how I want to do things. How excited are you? Like a 0 scale would be like totally bored, unfulfilled, uninspired. 10 would be like lit up. I want to do this. Like when it comes to podcasts, I love doing podcasts, and I didn't have a lot of time to do podcasts before, but we're going to spend more time doing podcasts and just creating more content that really serves people now because I'm going to have more space for that. Are you energized, excited? Does it feel amazing? And so ask yourself these specific questions. Number one, how excited am I to work with the person, like the niche that I'm in, the ideal client avatar, if you will? How excited am I? Are they perfect? I've realized that maybe because I've grown and built a business to the level that I have, I'm not so excited to help someone at the very, very, very beginning stage who hasn't created any success yet. And if I do, I want them to have the mindset that they are going to just go and run. People who really are struggling with like niching down or creating a tangible result in their offer, and they just want to focus on how they feel and just be in alignment with trauma healing. This is not my ideal client. I do not like coaching that person because they just seem to, generally speaking, spin in circles and not really get anywhere. I love it though when someone comes to us and they're like, I've been spinning in circles and I'm ready to actually do what it takes to make a business successful and not do it my way and not do it based on how I feel. I'm really ready to take your advice, Tara, and create an offer that will sell and actually go out and do the things that make me uncomfortable. Like I love working with that client. So it's more like a mindset thing more than like a level of revenue thing. And that is really hard to transfer to a sales team and then tell the sales team, hey, please don't sell to that person who seems like they have a good mindset right now, but once they come into the program, they really don't have a good mindset and they just complain and criticize and don't really want to do what it takes to build a business. So that was one of the struggles that we had. And if someone asked me a couple months ago, how excited are you to work with the ideal client that you're bringing in? I'm like, 80% of the clients are awesome. 20% of the clients are not awesome. And those are people I'm like at a 0 with, but it's very hard to fix that problem when you have a sales team bringing in people for you. And advertising goes out and is going out to a general audience. And so you're going to get a lot of different people that are applying to work with you. Number 2 is how excited am I to get the results for my client? And so for me, it lights me up to see women's financial lives change by doing something that they love and helping them change their clients' lives. Like our best clients help women get healthier, lose weight. Our best clients, they save marriages and they help people have better relationships. Our best clients help people, women in particular, make more money, go out and start a business, whether it's in the beauty industry or in the freelance industry. They go out and help other moms, for example, like change their family's life. And I love that. I love that. That makes me feel like I'm having an impact in the most aligned way because it's the way my brain works. And I love helping women just make a lot of money, but not just from a strategic perspective, like the mindset that you need to change the way you think and reprogram your mind around selling and making money and growing your wealth and investing your wealth and all of that stuff. And then number three, how excited am I to work the model that I'm working? And if you don't have a model, you need a model. Okay. You need a business model. And our business model up until recently, which is what I mostly teach, which is sell one offer, and it's a high ticket offer. And to sell high ticket, you need to get on the phone, you need to do a sales call. And I will stand by that 100%. That is the best way to get your business off the ground. Because if you try to sell a low ticket offer to almost a zero audience, like you'll never become cash flow positive. It's going to be very difficult to get off the ground. However, if you come to the market with a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 offer, all you need is 4 or 5 clients a month to make $20,000 to $30,000 a month. And you're going to become cash flow positive very quickly. You can do those sales calls yourself, so you have control over who you're bringing in the program. You can get clients results, you can get testimonials, and it just spirals from there, and you can have success very quickly. However, after that, then you're looking at hiring a sales team. That's going to present a whole bunch of challenges that I'm so glad I did it, but I do not miss it now at all. When I fired my sales team, it was the biggest relief that I had. And I had amazing salespeople that I love. And I'm like, they were with me for a long time. And I was so sad that had to happen. But the relief that I had afterwards was amazing, because that sales team required me to manage a whole nother group of people, their mindset. I had to listen to calls for quality assurance. I had to run daily sales huddles to, just be in there with them. So I was on more Zoom meetings than I wanted to be on. And I had to manage marketing and how many leads we were getting and how many calls we had, and manage people's expectations on how much money they were making and if they hit a sales slump. And so it was a lot to manage. And so in my model, I could not do the sales calls anymore. So I had to hire a team. And that's what a lot of people do. And it's amazing. And I'm so glad I did it to a certain point. But at a certain point, I was like, I hate this part. I am not inspired by this part. I do not want to do this part. And so that was one of the things that led me to go, I'm no longer excited about the model. And so our model's changing a little bit. I'm going to take the summer off pretty much. I'm just doing my up level mastermind. We're going to do a couple events, and I'm going to do the podcast, and I'm going to do YouTube, and I'm going to do our social media and create content for that because that excites me. But I'm mostly just going to take time off to enjoy life in Florida and with my family. And we'll see what God has for me next. Like I talked about before, I know that he has something next for me, but I know that I've graduated from what we just did. And that's amazing. I have a best-selling book and I have built an amazing business, and it's time to graduate and go to the next level. And so I'm super excited. I'm super excited about what is next. And I'm not exactly sure what's next, but I'm going to live in complete faith that the Father has a plan and that I'm going to live out his purpose for my life. And I just turn it all over to him. And so if you are at that place today where you're not sure, just really turn it all over to him, ask him to guide you. And yeah, look, if you're here and you've enjoyed this podcast, just give me a review or a comment below. I would just love that because it keeps us going. And if you want more content like this, let me know inside, behind the scenes, and I'll talk to you soon.